A good man obtains favor from the Lord, but a man of wicked intentions he will condemn. A man is not established by wickedness, but the root of the righteous cannot be moved. I've got my We Dig It cap on this morning, given to me by a friend at the church, and his job for his life is to dig holes in the ground. We dig it. That's the whole principle of his work. We got to dig a hole so he can put a septic tank in it, dig a hole to put a water line or whatever they're going to dig, but got to dig a hole. A man is not established by wickedness, even though many men and women attempt to establish themselves by wickedness. And that's why it's difficult to trust anymore anything in public. In fact, our government is at its highest point of mistrust. I think it was Time magazine, or it may have been another, that did a survey or a study and said that the United States Congress is the least trusted entity on the face of the planet. They have an approval rating of 4%. Why is that? It's because no one trusts their words. It's easy for a politician to be in front of a camera and to say a set of words that sound appealing. But the reality of those words is there were no legs to the words. They were just something that someone wanted to hear. We govern that way. We govern by polls. I know many pastors who literally preach in their church, and they lead in their church by what people are thinking. And do I really love his messages? I needed more of those kind. Or I'm taking you where I believe the Spirit of God has led me to take you. So we're not established by wickedness at all, and yet that's where a lot of us try to start on our own in a wicked pretense of selfishness. I'm going to get what I want. You see, congressmen were never allowed in the old days to say they're 45 years. And if you look at all the leaderships on both sides of the table, they need to be cleared out. They've been there way too long. They're generational in their wisdom. They're way beyond being relevant. They don't even understand the concepts of how a millennial would think. Now, to say that they all need to be gone may be wrong, but I think we're all at a point where we'd like to see a house cleaning and be done, because what we need is the root of the righteous. When the guys that We Dig It hit a tree root, something's got to change. I mean, they're either going to have to blow it up, or they're going to have to plow around it, or they're going to have to get below it and get below it and keep digging until they get it out. The root of the righteous cannot be moved, and that's my whole point today. We dig it. We get it, that the righteousness that God puts in us, you can't move that. You can't shake it. We can't compromise it. And I have had people to say, why don't you preach lighter stuff? Why don't you be easier? People will like you better if you'll just preach easier stuff and make them laugh more. But you see, my job is not to please people. My job is to please the Lord from the Word. And because of that, that's the righteousness that can't be moved. I'd rather die as change the way that I preach. I have a freedom to preach at the Mountaintop Cowboy Church the way that I think the Lord should lead me. Does everyone like it? I'm sure they don't. Does everyone hate it? I'm sure they don't. But that's not the point, whether they did or whether they didn't. The point is, the root of the righteous cannot be moved. And you're going to have to stay by the stuff in this culture, because Christianity is going to become an afterthought in America, if it not already is. We've been called for the last 20 years a post-Christian nation. And if that be true, and I think in great results of watching it, it is. We are a post-Christian nation. 20 years ago, 65% of all people in this country went to church. Now we're down 20% from that, 85% down to 65%. And most of the churches, when counting all these people, that's once a month, or once every 2 months, once every 3 months. So we're going to have to come back to a Christianity that gets itself in the tree root and cannot be moved. So a man is not established by wickedness, but by the root of the righteous. We can't be moved. This is Bob Shelton, Horse Sense for today.